Hi everyone, welcome back to Bottle Girl Diaries. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Cindy Ninsiri. How do you say your last name? I meant to ask you.
Ninsiri.
My name is Cindy Ninsiri. I'm a bottle server in Las Vegas nightlife industry, and today we are meeting with the Panda. Is that what you were gonna say?
He typed it.
That's pretty good. My favorite part is where it says, a former cocktail server who now does something else. So you're trying not to offend me because I'm a stay-at-home mom that's jobless.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Bottle Girl Diaries. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Cindy Ninsiri. I'm a current Las Vegas bottle server. Today we are going to meet with the beautiful Melissa Blacker, formerly known as PandaFBaby on Instagram, and we're going to talk to her about what it's been like for her to be a full-time mom and what she's doing after she's hung up the heels. Everyone, this is Melissa, aka Panda.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. So, tell us about yourself. Where were you born and raised, your Vegas industry experience, where you've worked, and where was the last place that you worked at before you had your baby?
Yes. Okay, so I was born and raised in San Diego. I was actually kind of kidnapped to come to Vegas. I know that sounds scary. So do you know who Tanisha is?
Tanisha.
I think you might have moved to Vegas before. She's like so beautiful. She's gorgeous. But she came to San Diego and we're like on a rager. I think we were staying at like the Hard Rock in San Diego. I had a backpack full of clothes just for that weekend. Mm-hmm. And Sunday comes around and she's like, I need you to come to Vegas with me. Like my boyfriend, like her and like Matt. I don't know if I should say.
I feel like we've heard that name a couple times.
She used to go by Taylor.
On this set, but okay.
Yeah. Popular guy. So they were dating and I think they were like fighting, I don't know, whatever. Mm-hmm. So she wanted me to come out, she needed moral support.
Right.
And I think it was like during one of the, what's like the clothing thing, the clothing convention?
Fashion Week or
it was like
Magic.
Magic. That's
yeah.
what it was for.
Yeah.
So then she's like, I booked you a ticket. Like you have to come to Vegas with me. Mm-hmm. So then I flew out there. We partied for Magic. I think she like hired us or got us hired for a couple jobs. And then, oh no, this happened before the weekend. Man, that tequila is already working.
Woo!
Okay, so I go there for the weekend. And Sunday rolls around and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go after a whole weekend of partying. And she's like, wait, you can't, I have interviews set up for you. Mm-hmm. So then on Monday morning, she had interviews set up for me at Lights, Hakkasan Group, and I think somewhere else, I can't remember, maybe like Towel Group or something. Mm-hmm. So I went to every interview. I got hired at Hakkasan and I had no idea. So like that experience for me was crazy because I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. Because you know, there's like a stigma around.
I just burped. Sorry.
It's the Red Bull. It's the Red Bull. I get it. I burped earlier.
Woo.
It's fine.
Woo, okay.
But there's a stigma around Vegas cocktail servers that like they're prostitutes, that they like hook up for money or whatever there is.
Right.
So I was nervous and I had a really good job in San Diego. I was working for a plastic surgeon, mm-hmm. Dr. Pusti, plastic surgery.
Were you like an assistant or receptionist?
I got hired as a receptionist and then I pretty much told him like your website can use some sprucing up. So then I started doing SEO and marketing for him.
Okay.
And then I broke up with my boyfriend. Wow, this is getting everywhere. So I broke up with like my boyfriend, so then I started partying like crazy, so then I was hardly there, and I was just kind of like in a weird spot. So then when Tanisha asked me to come to Vegas, obviously I was down to come. But so yeah, when I went to my interview that Monday, I got hired on the spot. It was like a one-on-one interview with Derek Silverstein.
Oh, Derek's so sweet, but like
he terrifies me.
So those of you who aren't in this industry, so when we audition for our jobs, we have to stand in a bikini in front of a panel. It's kind of like American Idol, but like 10 times scarier because you're in a bikini. And Derek just like, he just intimidates me. Like I know that he's sweet.
Really confident and he has a lot of power. So you're kind of like,
it's just kind of like, hey, you know, you think you go in there looking cute and then you're like, I guess not. Okay, bye now. Like, it's just so weird.
You're like intimidated and turned on at the same time.
Yeah,
you're like what is going on?
Like, hello? Like, hey, daddy, is that you?
What do I say?
Daddy? Okay,
and
so anyways, go ahead.
So yeah, I was so nervous too. I didn't know what the hell I was getting myself into. And plus, like, on top of that, I was partying like prior the whole weekend, like at Magic after parties and everything. So he pretty much told me I got hired, and I was so nervous that I didn't even have a reaction. He was like, congratulations. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. And then he asked me if I could pass a drug test. And I was like, sure. And then I went home and I called Tanisha and I was like, we were like smoking weed all weekend. Like, what am I supposed to do? So I know we're going to get into it later, but if you're auditioning and you had a hiccup and you smoked some weed, there's this stuff that you could get. It's called, what is it called? Be Pure or something? And you have to drink it like an hour before, your drug test. But it was just so funny because like I peed and it was like bright green, but I passed. So
she passed. So if you need to know how to pass a drug test, you
know. You're welcome. So yeah, I got hired on the spot, and then they're like, we need you to start on Wednesday. So I think I only had 2 days. So I actually didn't even go home.
Oh wow.
I ended up staying with Tanisha, and we slept in this, like, she let me sleep in the same room as her. Like, we weren't even roommates. We were, like, literally roommates. At the time, she was working at Wet, so it worked out perfectly because she was working during the day, I was working at night, so, yeah.
And so that's where it started.
So that's how I got to Vegas, and then I pretty much just never left.
Oh my gosh, so you've worked, so where's everywhere that you worked? Did you open up Hakkasan or?
Yeah, so I opened up Hakkasan, and then after that, I got fired. And then,
wait, why did you get fired?
Oh my God.
Were you drinking?
Okay, honestly, I have to think about this. Technically, yes. Okay, so I had too many points, and like most of them were either due to drinking or like coming in hungover. Yeah, it was just like, I was a hot mess, and I'm honestly surprised they didn't fire me earlier, but I think it came down to too many points. Actually, I do remember. And you don't have to say his name because I honestly don't remember. He was one of our managers, and his nickname was Ginger Sniper. And Melody will tell you about him.
So was he just like a Nazi or what?
Yes, he was like spying on me on the security cameras. It was one of the days, I think we're like closing down main room, and so Ling Ling was just open. Mm-hmm. And I think that, okay, so you're supposed to clock in uniform. Mm-hmm. But like obviously I didn't listen because like, you know how it is in the beginning. You want to wear your Uggs and like be comfortable. Yeah. So I think, and like, you know, Hakkasan's like the club full of stairs.
Right.
So I wanted to walk down the stairs in my Uggs comfortably.
Right.
And put on my shoes when I felt like it.
Not when you guys tell us
Not
to.
When you tell
Clock
me to.
in times at 9:45. Have your heels on that you have to work in 8 hours.
Yes.
Have your heels on by 7:30.
Yeah. So, but I think the reason why I had more balls that night to wear my Uggs down was because we were downstairs at Hakkasan.
Oh my gosh.
Eating dinner. A shot to get ready for work. Which is not allowed. But I did it anyways.
Not supposed to drink before a shift.
Yeah.
So.
But I can handle myself. So.
I mean, we all can. Like, I feel like some of us, you know, it's kind of like, oh, we do better when we've had a little to drink in us.
Yeah,
know?
Exactly. So, yeah, I pretty much got in trouble because I did not clock in uniform. So I got a point that night. And then they SPI'd me.
So SPI means suspended pending investigation.
Exactly.
So basically they'll suspend you should they expect that you were drinking or if you did something wrong, and then they have to like investigate the situation and decide either they're going to bring you back after you're kind of like on probation for a couple weeks, or you are going to get clipped. Yeah. Basically you'll get fired. So
that was like my third SPI.
I've been SPI'd a couple times.
I only worked for them for like 2 years. I'm telling you, like, you know that rule book? Like, have you trained with Hakkasan Group? Like, you know the training rule book?
Yeah, because I worked at Jewel this last year.
Yeah, they didn't have that when I started.
Oh.
And when I retrained for Jewel or Wet Republic, like we went over the rule book and I was like, oh fuck, I think that was because of me.
Girl, that was because
that
of
was
me.
definitely because of me. Not supposed to wear your uniforms out after your shift.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
in case we do something like kind of ratchet, you know, they don't want to be like, oh, like those girls that were in here dancing on the tables, like we think that those are the girls from Hakkasan or whatnot. So yeah, but well, I wanted to ask you what it's like to be married and being a full-time mommy and, you know, being married to Jesse. And do you like ever have FOMO though of working, being in the industry, like seeing all your friends?
Yeah, totally. Like I get FOMO all the time and I actually like, get upset about it and like go off on Jesse and tell him I want to work, I want to stay here. But honestly, so I get FOMO because I miss like the locker room aspect of work.
Right.
Like I don't necessarily miss do you know what I mean? Like I don't really miss working with customers. Obviously it's really fun, but like I'm older now. In the beginning I was like so excited. I was always high energy and it was like fun to get people hyped up. But then like after a while, like you get tables that like have zero energy and you're like taking my energy away from me. And like I don't know how to entertain you anymore. Yeah. So like just keep drinking.
Yeah, no. So we're gonna talk about like locker rooms. Like honestly, there is so much ass and titty slapping going on in the cocktail waitresses' locker rooms. I mean,
it's disgusting.
I love it though. You know,
I love it too. That's me. That's like if I could just go to Wet Republic and honestly just hang out in the service
and just slap everybody's ass
and just like
flip their tit or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think that's like...
I don't know how the busters do it, and I don't know how the busters get girlfriends that are like, okay, yeah, go ahead and go to work. They probably don't know what the fuck's going on.
They have no idea.
But I will tell you, you better watch your man.
Girls are way worse than guys, though. We are way worse than men.
Yeah, we're disgusting.
Yeah. So,
I remember, like, Melody and I were terrible.
So Melody is also known as Hello Mellow Kitty. So some of you guys might know her on Instagram, but these two, wife. They're crazy.
Yeah, in her heydays we were crazy. She's so wild now, but...
So before we go into, you know, us giving some tips and tricks, how did you get the name Panda? Because that was something I've always been curious about.
I need to come up with a better story for this, but honestly, I grew up in a very, like, Caucasian area. It's like a weird time to talk about this, but like, I was like one of the only Asians there, so they started calling me Panda Express, and I was like, don't fucking call me that. And then they just kept calling me it because they thought it was funny. So then I just decided, I think my girlfriend was like, you should sign up for Twitter. Maybe this is when like Twitter was going on, and at the time I was like a fan of Lil Wayne, still am. But I was like, okay, fine, I'll just make my name like PandaFBaby. And then people just started calling me Panda. And like still to this day, I don't think people know my actual like government name is Melissa. So.
Yeah, I didn't know what your name was for the longest time. Yeah. So you and Jesse are staying here in Vegas though, right? And
we're staying here. We actually met at Hakkasan.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, so...
Did you upsell him?
No, I felt so bad. I'm not gonna lie, I feel bad.
I don't know if I should...
Yeah, I don't know if I should say this on camera, but I will. So... Being a cocktail server, some girls care about money, and that's great. Yeah. I didn't really, because like I associate money with like power. Like I want to make my own money, because if I want to buy something, I don't want someone saying you can't buy that.
Right.
So I could tell like he wasn't ballin'. Sorry, babe. Oh. It's like the shoes and the watch.
Right.
Like we all know. Yeah. We have to know. That's like part of our job is to know who you're talking to, how to talk to them, so that way you know how to sell them. Like some guys like getting taken advantage of. It's true.
No, they do. They love when a woman can like entice them.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like a turn on. When I can get like a man to do something just like by like, oh, daddy, like you should get this bottle of Dom Perignon.
Whatever you want, baby girl.
Whatever. Okay, yes. Yeah. And he's like, what card should I use? I'm like, just give me the black one. Just the black one.
All of them.
That one works.
Let's try all of them. I'll put a bottle on each one, and then I'll keep all your tabs open.
Got it. Highest limit, no problem.
Yeah. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. So I didn't want to upsell him. I felt so bad because I could tell he didn't have the monies. But his friends came in and they had the monies. So, like, obviously, they had a really high minimum.
Right.
But then I told one of the other guys wanted to get champagne. I was like, okay. He wanted to put on his card. So, obviously, I do the trick where you put it on another tab.
Yeah.
That way they go over their minimum. I mean, honestly, if you're spending money on bottles of vodka, you're spending like $1,000 for a bottle of vodka, like, I'm gonna take all your money. What are you doing? Like, it's gonna happen. So you get what you pay for.
But you guys met at Hakkasan.
So we met at Hakkasan. He actually, I always wear these rings, and he took one of my rings and like fake proposed to me that night.
Oh, cute. So and he like knew he had his eye on you since the second he saw you.
I actually hit on him first.
Ooh, girl.
Because his boys warned him. They're like, if you're going to go to Vegas, like the cocktail servers are going to flirt with you because they want you to spend more money. Which I mean is true sometimes. So they warned him, and I kept hitting on him the whole night. And I knew he obviously wasn't the card holder, but I would ask him anything. Mm-hmm. I did like a little leg touch.
I know, they love the leg touch.
They love the leg touch.
The shoulder rub.
The shoulder rub.
Sometimes I just sit on their lap at that point.
At that point, I mean, I might as well just give them a room key. Let's just go.
Let me go over the menu with you. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I was hitting on him, and he was totally like shutting me down, which kind of like made me more interested in him, obviously. So I asked his friend about him, and I was like, is he gay? Like, should I stop, or is he married? Because, like, obviously, like,
right.
I know we get a bad rep, but we don't want to fuck with married men.
No.
It's just messy, it's not fun, and it never works out in our favor.
Don't do it. It's not cute, you know.
It's not.
It's cute.
Disgusting. Don't fuck with a married man.
What
especially
she's saying is don't try
mine.
Don't mess with my man.
Exactly. So, yeah, I was hitting on him, and then he actually took my ring with him when he left the club.
Oh, gosh.
And like, I was nervous that night because honestly, like, I think Manny Kess was the one who booked me for that table. Like, he requested me for the table, and I was just nervous because he's like, yeah, there's a bunch of hockey players coming out. And like, I'm from San Diego. Like, I don't know what hockey is, but like, I've seen a couple hockey players. They're big boys. Like, they're good looking, right? And like, 10% of the time, you get like a decent looking guy at your table. Right. It's very rare. So when they all came in, I was like a little intimidated. So obviously I started drinking. And I don't really know how the end of it went, but he left with my ring. And then I had to meet up with him, and then he ended up booking my ticket to come visit him in Toronto.
It was just history from there.
And then we got married.
So he does still play hockey, correct?
He does.
So he goes away for a while then.
Yeah.
Aw, is that hard for you to kind of adjust to that?
No, I actually love it. So when I met him, I didn't sign up for that because he was playing in Texas when I met him.
Right.
So that's like a 3-hour flight from here.
Yeah.
It's easy. And then the next year, he was like, okay, I'm going to go play in Germany. And then I was I didn't even know like Germans played hockey. And then like 2 years ago, he starts playing for the KHL, which is the Russian league.
Okay.
And yeah, so the past 2 years we've lived in Kazakhstan.
Oh my gosh, that's so crazy.
Yeah. And it's nothing like Borat. I will defend Kazakhstan. It's actually such a beautiful city. It's
the
awesome.
movie Borat?
The movie Borat. Like anytime I'm like, I actually tell people that I live in Russia, like during his season, because when I bring up Kazakhstan, they're like, oh, Borat. Every time. It's not like that.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm glad to like hear your journey. It's actually like super interesting because everybody has a different, story, but yours is actually like really interesting to me. Plus, you're a hot ass MILF, and I'm like, oh, who looks like that? Like goals, girl. me.
Milk.
Okay, so we're gonna go into. I brought Melissa on because she's a very experienced waitress. So we're gonna give you ladies or gentlemen, maybe gentlemen. We're going to give some tips on, kind of from beginning to end of starting in the industry. So tip number 1 is you should audition, and auditions are usually in January. So, which is super messed up because
it's fucked up.
It's fucked up because
and
it's
keeps getting earlier and earlier.
Girl.
Like, first, at the end of the year, you have Thanksgiving, which you eat.
Yeah.
You have December, which you wear like hoodies the whole time.
For
Christmas, you eat. And then there's New Year's where you drink and you eat. And then it's auditions. Like, what is it now, the 6th of January?
Yeah, it's like the first week of January. So usually for all the pools and some nightclubs, because what will happen is if they move girls from like their nightclub into the pools, then they have to hire for that specific nightclub. So for the upcoming season, they'll hold all their auditions at the beginning of the year. Mm-hmm. And it's just So just be ready. If we could say, you know, you don't have to be like super ripped, but if you do want to work at a pool, like Wet Republic, like she did, or Encore Beach Club, you want to be at your best physique. I personally have never like really been fit enough to work at a pool. I'm kind of like more of a thick fit, but I have more of a sultry look. So, you know, I usually get chosen for the nightclubs, but I did do my couple years at Beach Club, which was Dre's Beach Club in Daylight.
I think at the end of the day, the reason why you want to be in like the best shape possible is just so that you have that confidence going in.
Right.
Because like it's not, the interview itself is like what, 5 minutes?
Right.
Like it is so short, but the entire time you're waiting in line with like these beautiful girls and everyone's like at the top of their game. And like when I got fired from Hakkasan, I re-auditioned to get hired at Wet. I really wanted Wet, but then they ended up putting me at Jewel. I don't want to say for punishment, but it was probably for punishment, but whatever. But yeah, so I wasn't fully ready when I auditioned at Jewel, and I felt it. Because you feel like, okay, whatever, I'm just going to audition. And then as soon as you show up, you see that these girls have been like working their ass off.
Right, super shredded. Yeah. So that's tip number 1. So you'll probably, if auditions are in January, you probably want to start prepping, I would say October. And then also, so we do have to take a drug test, and some places require a hair test, meaning like
they will shave your head.
They will.
They literally like.
You'll be up in there looking like G.I. Jane.
Yeah.
So, but they take like a piece of your hair sample, and it goes back like 3 months. And I can tell you this: I've failed a couple hair tests in my lifetime. I'm not going to say what I tested for, but. You usually have to take a urine test. So that's one thing. And then be prepared too when you go into auditions. You want to make sure like that you have a natural hair color. You're not going in there with like blue or pink hair. Your nails want to be clean and polished. You don't want to have like super long Shaniqua nails. I mean, they're fun because I love to talk with my nails. You know?
But the guys don't like it.
But the guys don't like it, but they do want you to be like super clean and polished. And if you can, honestly, I would say it's just in your best interest to not have like a ton of tattoos.
Oh yeah.
There are some pools that do accept it because that is kind of what like the look that they like, and that's perfectly fine. But for the most part, you want your body to be like clean and polished. What else?
Exactly. Always get a spray tan. Like even though I'm naturally a tan person, even the tannest people get a spray tan. So you may show up thinking that you're tan and like looking good, and then you're gonna be standing next to. And plus the lights are so bright. I don't really remember what it's like for Wynn properties, but like Hakkasan Group, you can't even see the people interviewing you.
Yeah,
the lights are just so bright.
It's really weird, but their lighting is also bad too.
It's terrible.
It's freaking awful.
It's awful lighting.
They like set us up for failure.
I know.
Let's see. So yeah, getting a spray tan helps. Plus too, anytime like you're a tanner, you know, you look more tan, you look thin, like you look thinner, and just like
drink your water. Like leading up to it, drink your water. And then like the girls do like what? The caffeine pills. I tried it once year and it like backfired on me because I didn't drink enough water, but yeah.
We go on like almost like a diet, like an audition, like a prep diet, like
exactly,
what girls
like
do
for the show,
models.
for the fitness shows.
I swear to you, I cannot
tell the girls, but they need to know.
Okay, guys, listen.
This is how it goes. This is like the ugly side of the industry.
This is the ugly side of the industry. So you're prepping because you obviously want to look super lean, and you
want to look starving.
Yeah, you want to look like you
I'm gonna be
yourself. But I was eating like whitefish and asparagus. And now I loathe this. I like will puke if I smell that. I'd almost rather just starve and not eat rather than eat that.
That's pretty much what I do.
Yeah.
So like the whole time, obviously you have to work out just because it's not going to be good if you don't. So, and for confidence too. Like I work out because it makes me happy, and if I don't, then I'm just not a nice person. But yeah, you want to work out, you want to eat healthy, but I don't really do the clean eating until like the very last 2 weeks.
Same.
Because otherwise I'll do it for 2 weeks and then I'll get to where I want to be, and then I get comfortable.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I'm good to go. And then auditions comes around and I look worse than I did like 2 weeks prior.
Right.
And then like a week before, I just really cut down on my eating. And then like the night before, I just like don't eat.
Yeah.
Or I eat like candy so I don't like pass out during the interview.
Yeah, you don't want to pass out. That's not fun. What else? So I think that another like stereotype about waitresses is people are like, oh, you just like get to look cute and just get on the floor and make all this money. That's not it. We actually have like a very extensive training. You have to do a mock service where you're basically the waitress and like one of the executives like are the customers, and trust me, it's super awkward. And then they like give you like trick questions. Like, can you name all the 13 vodkas we have? I'm like, I can barely name 2, let alone 13.
Yeah, I had no idea.
I can't be bothered. And then, and then what else? We do take like an extensive wine and spirits and liquor training class, because how are you going to sell like a product if you don't know anything about it? Like the smallest little things that like Dom Perignon was named after a monk or something like that, right?
Yeah, honestly, I've failed every test that, like I've had to retake so many tests. I'm not good with tests.
Me neither.
That's why I was like, let me sell bottles of vodka.
Let me sell bottles.
Like they wanted us to memorize all the prices for these bottles, and like they're not normal. Like make a bottle of vodka $1,000. Like why $12.75?
Yeah.
Or what? I still don't know.
Like
I
why?
forgot all of it. I cheated and I still failed, and I had to retake all my tests.
I've cheated on a couple tests and I still failed.
Yeah,
I don't
it's just
understand.
not for me. I'm not a
It's just
test
not fair.
taker, so
Oh, such a hard life.
it's very difficult, ladies. And you have to have personality.
You do have to have personality, because you need to see it like this. Like, people are coming in and you don't know if they've saved up all year for that one trip.
Exactly. Yeah.
And, you know, this is their first time in Vegas, and this is your chance to kind of be like their fun enforcer, basically. And so, you know, if you're having a bad day, you have to leave that shit at the door, because technically as a cocktail waitress, like we have to be on, because that's what we do, is we promote fun, we sell fun.
Exactly, yeah.
You know. Also, rewind a little bit. Speaking of uniform, you need to be prepared to work in heels. Yes. So sometimes we'll clock in at like, I'd say 9:45 or 9:30 for our shifts, and we're not getting out of there till 4 a.m. And whatever expectations that girls have about money that they should be making, you need to lower that, because some nights are going to be really slow, some nights will be average, and some nights will be so busy that you held your pee all night.
Yeah, 100%.
I've held my pee so many times. Like,
I've probably not. I don't like remember. But like, I don't know, I was drinking too much. Maybe I'm not the best person for that.
It's okay. She had a lot of fun while she was working.
Yeah, you need to be grateful that you even got the job, because during auditions, like I said, she said, it's like American Idol. So you're waiting in line. Sometimes you have to get there at like 6 a.m, and you're waiting there for so long, because if you don't get in, so there is a cutoff time and they won't see people after that.
That's a good point.
So you have to go in and you want to be there early. You want to like be remembered. And yeah, I forget where I was going with that thought, but...
It's okay. What else is a good tip for the viewers? If you follow a lot of like, you know, waitresses on Instagram, you do notice that we're out a lot. We go to like a lot of dinners. I would say go out. Always keep your face and your name relevant in the industry. And the reason for that being is because, like, if you're in a seasonal job, you don't know where your next job's going to be. So it's just really good to show other venues support, just going out. And trust me, like, it sucks. There was times that, like, I didn't want to go out, but we did, just because, you know, you need to, like, stay relevant.
It's part of your job. And, like, even if you think you're only making, like, what's the lowest, like, you've ever made, like, $400 a night, that's still $400 a night. Like, what are you doing? You're pouring drinks.
Yeah.
Like, be grateful for your job.
Yeah, $400 like now is like the average. I think it's like if you're at $400 or more, it's average of what.
That's great.
Yeah.
And you don't have to like pay taxes. Don't tell the IRS.
Yeah. So
that's cash.
Yeah. Cha-ching. But yeah, I mean, we are gonna have definitely more time to go over some more tips for you guys. But right now, that's just the general. It's just being ready for auditions, kind of knowing how you should show up for your appearance. Just being prepared that we do have extensive training. We don't just clock in and be cute and, you know, start selling bottles. I mean, we sell bottles and like, yeah, we're still keeping it cute, but we do have like opening and closing, you know, duties. We work really hard. I mean, we work some crazy hours, whether it's 8 to 10 hours in the sun or 8 to 10 hours at night. We're going to sleep when the sun comes up.
Exactly.
So just kind of, I think that's the part of, you know, the industry that other girls don't get. They think they're just going to come in and it's going to be super easy and everything's going to be handed to them. I mean, that's not it.
I see girls just come in and they just think that you stand at the table and look pretty, but you have to know how to read your clientele.
Right.
You have to know how to upsell, because at the end of the day, it's all numbers. You have to sell.
Yep, you have to sell. And if you don't, then, you know, it's okay. Like if you are one of those servers who maybe aren't the best sellers, but maybe you take on like a lot of tables. Like don't give me 5 tables because I'll get fired for paperwork real quick.
1,000%. Give me one.
Give me one.
Give me one table. I'm good to go.
So before we close out today's segment, we're going to take a little shot. Cheers to Panda for coming on. We love you. Thank you. Thank you.
Love you. I'm gonna need a ride home.
I'm gonna need a ride home. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, also, thanks to Red Bull. If you guys want to sponsor me, I'm here. I'm waiting for you. Thank you for tuning in to another great episode of Bottle Girl Diaries. Today we had the beautiful PandaFBaby here, and we were able to give you guys some tips, tricks, and insights on if you're wanting to move to Vegas to work in this industry. For the latest, follow us on Instagram at Bottle Girl Diaries Official or my personal page. I am Cindy and Siri. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye now.
Bye.